Ben the Bin Lorry lives in a very nice garage in a place called Martin's Village. Every night Ben went to sleep in his warm and snug garage after working very hard keeping the village streets clean. "Collecting rubbish is a very difficult job," said Ben. He liked to keep the village nice and tidy. All the children in the village liked to keep things nice and tidy as well. 7 o'clock in the morning and another start to the day. After waking up, Ben did 3 things before his breakfast. Number 1, he opened his eyes. Number 2, he yawned. Number 3, he gave himself a big stretch. Then he ate his breakfast of porridge with a drink of warm milk. Ben enjoyed his breakfast so much that he flashed his lights on and off. With breakfast over, it was time to get on his way. "Another busy day ahead," said Ben. Now Ben was on the road and on his way to meet his fellow helpers, Tim, Kim and Finn. They helped Ben keep the village nice and clean. Beep, beep, on Ben's horn, and Tim, Kim and Finn jumped into the lorry. "Good morning, Ben," they said. Once again Ben gave a beep, beep on his horn. This was his way of saying hello. So off they all went, and as they drove down the streets, their friends would come out and wave to them. Some would shout, "Hello, Ben," as he drove past. Ben just gave a big smile and gave a huge roar of his big engine. Ben would also move his eyes from side to side, which was another way of him saying hello to his village friends. First stop in the village was outside the post office. Tim, Kim and Finn got out of the lorry to empty 2 wheelie bins. These wheelie bins were called Bertie and Betty. "Good morning," said Bertie and Betty. "Just look how full our bins are today. Everyone in the village has been so neat and tidy." "Have you seen Barry Bin today?" said Tim. "No," said Bertie. "No, I haven't. He seems to have gone missing. Has no one seen him?" Kim looked puzzled, thinking, "I wonder where Barry has gone. It's certainly a mystery, but no doubt we'll see him soon," said Finn, as he scratched his head. So, with Bertie and Betty's wheelie bins completely empty, it was on to the next job. But again, everyone was puzzled as to where Barry Bin had disappeared to. Finn had noticed it had been raining earlier that day, but now the sun was shining brightly in the sky, and Kim shouted, "Look, everyone! There's a rainbow in the sky." "I've heard that there's a big pot of gold at the bottom of the rainbow," said Tim. Finn thought it would be a good idea to find out, so getting off the lorry he went and whispered his idea into Ben's ear. Ben thought this was a good idea, and then he fired up his big engine. Vroom, vroom, and they were underway. "Let's go and find the end of the rainbow," Ben shouted. Tim, Kim and Finn let out a great big cheer. "Hooray!" they shouted as loud as they could. Up and over big hills, puffing and blowing, Ben's engine was working very hard to get to the bottom of the rainbow. Rosie Rabbit, Jenny the old English sheepdog and Frankie Fox popped out from a farmer's field to see what was going on. They were pleased to see Ben, and Jenny and Frankie waved their paws at the lorry. "Look! There's the rainbow! Come on, let's see what we can find," shouted Tim. Finn was still wondering if they'd find a pot of gold. Finally, they reached their destination. Tim, Kim and Finn reached the end of the rainbow, and Ben was right behind them. They were all walking very slowly. And do you know what they found at the end of the rainbow? They didn't find a pot of gold, but they found Barry Bin. Barry told them that he'd seen the rainbow and wanted to find out for himself if there was a pot of gold at the end of it. Ben, Tim, Kim and Finn all laughed as they put Barry in the lorry and drove home. So now we know that at the bottom of a rainbow there's no pot of gold, but there is Barry the Wheelie Bin.